The very best advice about studying abroad that I received before I left, thank goodness my university actually made us like study it for a whole day. Let me show you a chart. It's important to know about the stages of culture shock. Like, this is a real psychological phenomenon that tons of people experience, and just knowing that it exists makes it so much easier to deal with. You get there, you're in the euphoria stage or the honeymoon stage. You're so excited. Usually there's a point, they call it here anxiety. I've seen it noted as like the culture shock. It's very normal to go through a period where you're suddenly like, I hate everything here. After a few months, it's just normal. But me having like seen this chart before leaving and knowing that that was what was supposed to be happening was very, very helpful in getting me back on the track to adjustment and then eventually to acceptance, where you're back up high again and you're feeling pretty good and liking where you're living. And then something that many colleges fail to remind students of is that after you've gone through this whole stage, like the up and the down and the up again, when you go back home, it's very common to have this same exact experience, but in reverse. Maybe you'll come back to the States. I don't know where she is studying or where she's coming from, but I went back to America and was like peanut butter M&Ms for life and having a grand old time. And then like had my sad anxiety culture shock period getting adjusted to being back in the US. So depending on how long she's there, depending on what type of experience she's going to have, it's just good to know that this is incredibly common and that there are a lot of resources to help if you are going through this. And I personally felt just the fact that knowing that this was a completely normal stage helped me go through it. And it also helped me keep my mouth shut while I was going through the anxiety and culture shock stage. So I wasn't saying too many offensive things to the locals because I was going through that phase and knew that it would pass. There are so many graphs similar to this one online, but I would give this advice to anyone moving to any country, not just for study abroad, but if you're going long-term, like longer than 3 months, longer than a vacation, this is so good for your mental health to know about this, because you also, if you can identify what phase you're in, you can Google how to get out of it. So that's helpful. Like the do's and the don'ts, things that'll make it worse, those are all good to know.